What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. So we are back with our draft lottery rebuilds, and here we are at pick number 10 with Utah Jazz. But today we're going to do it a little differently. So instead of focusing on a prospect today, which we will still get one, but I kind of have an interesting trade down scenario that I think could make sense for both teams. We'll get to that in just a second. Without further ado, since I'm hinting at it, let's just go ahead, jump in, do this number 10 overall pick, which will soon become a different pick. Utah Jazz rebuild. Before we get into today's video, make sure you guys drop a like on this one and subscribe if you are new to this channel. As always, greatly appreciated. So when it comes to the Utah Jazz, I think the biggest question mark is marketing the long-term answer here? Are they going to keep him? Or are they going to trade him for value? I think he'd be very valued around the league, so you could probably get a lot for him. You'd also extend him because he's been phenomenal in Utah and he's a great forward. So I think the Jazz have to ask themselves what they're going to do. Now, in today's video, I'm going to keep him because I think the scenario where I'm about to get a certain player, I think having marketed would be a really good piece to have next to him, which we'll talk about that in just a second. But what we want to do here first is we want to fill this coaching staff as usual. So let's start there. So we'll get Joe Prunty to be our assistant. We'll grab Mr. Theodore Ware. We need a post D coach. We got a couple here. And then last but not least, we need a perimeter defensive coach. And we got one here. So coaching staff completely filled out. And now we can head to draft night. So here is my trade down scenario. So let's go talk to a fellow Northwest team, and that being the Oklahoma City Thunder, who currently hold pick number 12. And the reason why we're talking to the Thunder is they have a certain player, as we all know, that does not fit there anymore. I think Josh Giddey would be a good fit in Utah. I really do. When it comes to Josh Giddey, I actually had the pleasure of being the Thunder in this mock offseason, per se, with a bunch of guys in Discord over at Blazers Uprise channel. So I actually had the Thunder, and I thought the two teams that Josh Giddey could make a ton of sense on would be Utah or San Antonio. Now, unfortunately, both those teams turned me down. I ended up trading him in some weird scenario. I forgot where I sent him exactly. But regardless, I think he's in Miami now. But that's besides the point. It does not matter. Ignore that part because that's a big log jam I have to go through. But Josh Giddey, I feel would be a great fit in Utah and also San Antonio. But in this scenario, we get him in Utah. So how this works is what we're going to do is we're offer them pick 10 and then pick 12. So I honestly wouldn't be surprised if maybe this was enough where the Thunder just used Josh Giddey to move up. Well, 2 spots is kind of crazy. So maybe you get like pick 29, and let's say the Thunder get that Cavs pick as well. The Cavs pick probably isn't going to be very good anyway. So for Utah, you probably don't mind giving it up, but you know, you'd have to make a decision. Or no, Donovan Mitchell's going to have to make his decision during the NBA Finals, I think, on whether or not he'll sign extension with Cleveland. So I guess you'll know if Donovan Mitchell is staying in Cleveland. But in 2K, we all know Donovan Mitchell is staying. So it is pick 10, pick 29, and a Cleveland unprotected for pick 12 and Josh Giddey. I think Josh Giddey, as I mentioned, would be a perfect fit here in Utah. So we're going to make this trade happen, and they disagreed with that right away, which kind of sucks. I thought they'd accept that, but they do not. So maybe we include Omer Yurtseven just as another, you know, value piece in here that maybe the Thunder would accept, and they still disagree. Wow, I'm kind of surprised by that. What else can I do here? I don't want to include another first. Another first sounds kind of an overpay. I'm not really sure I would love including another first tier. That Lakers pick is too valuable. I guess you can include this Minnesota pick because they're going to be good as well. Not that I really want to, but you know, they're going to be good. They have Anthony Edwards in 2K, so yeah, it would suck to trade this much. I'd rather preferably keep it to just these 3 picks for Josh Giddey in 12, but we all know it can never go that smoothly in 2K. So this is as much as I would give up, and they do agree. I hate that we gave up that much. So yeah, ignore the Minnesota pick being in there as well, but you guys get the gist of it. So basically, it'd be Josh Giddey and 12 or pick 10 would be kind of the bases. Thunder move up a couple spots. Josh Giddey goes to a team where he'd fit a lot better in Utah, and the Thunder get a couple draft picks as well on top of it. So I think that trade scenario makes a lot of sense in real life. Let me know what you guys think of it though. And now we can head to draft night and see what we're going to get at pick 12 now that we've made that trade. Today's video is brought to you by DGF's Optimizer. If you play on apps such as PrizePicks, Underdog, or any other DFS app, having a tool like this is so clutch at finding good plays right in front of you without having to do any research. So, for example, we got Logan Gilbert under fantasy score. As you can see, 3 other books have it at 31, 31, 30. We got a esports play where you got a couple books over 14.5 on Matty's map 1 kills. One book even has an 18.5, so a huge discrepancy here. Now, let's see if we can find a basketball play, because we are some basketball watchers, as we all know. Yes, we got one here. Porzingis under 8.5 rebounds and assists. The reason why this is a good play is because, as you can see, every book that takes, you know, bets all the time has a heavily favored to go under. So Porzingis is a favorite to go under. And over the long term, if you're using a, you know, strategy called EV betting, where you're just kind of looking at value, it is profitable over the long term, and that has what it's been for me as well. So if you want to check out this tool, link is in the description below. They use code Crushables to match for, or sorry, getting it backwards. They give you 25% of the first month, and on Prize Picks, if you use code Crushables to match first deposit dollar for dollar up to $100. You probably know what Prize Picks is by now, but just in case you don't, not only do they have basketball, they have all kinds of esports. They have soccer, NHL. Like I said, a lot of options on here. But it's a really good time to sign for Prize Picks because they actually have a free square on Jason Tatum. That's free money right there. You might as well give yourself an extra sweat while you watch basketball. Why not, right? So make sure to check out Prize Picks. Use code Crushables. Like I said, they match first deposit dollar for dollar up to $100. Other than that, let's get back to the video. Now we jump in at pick number 12. We got Alex Sarr going 1. Montez goes to the Wizards. You got Collier to the Rockets. Interesting. Reed Shepard to the Spurs. Stephon Castle to the Pistons. And then Zachary Shea going to the Hornets. Number 8 is going to be Ron Holland. Or sorry, 7. And then Kyle Filipowski goes to the Spurs. Interesting. Grizzlies take Tyler Smith. And then who did the Thunder take? They take Cody Williams. So they get the Williams thing going. And apparently they're interested in Patrick Williams. So the Infinity Gauntlet's almost done. Or Infinity Stone, whatever that thing was called. I'm kind of blanking on Thanos' glove. But we could take Donovan Clingan ourselves, but I already have done a video on him. So I think who I'm going to take, and I read an article about who the Jazz could potentially be interested in. That kind of listed off Nikola Topic, Jacoby Walter, and then Dalton Connect as guys that Utah could take. So I think I'm going to go ahead and take Jacoby Walter here. We haven't taken him in this series so far. So I'm going to take Jacoby Walter with pick 12. So now we walk away at a draft night with Josh Giddey and Jacoby Walter. I feel pretty solid about that. Kessler, of course, will accept that team option. Kyle Lewis, we're going to go ahead and probably not worry about him too much. And then free agency, we do have a ton of cap space to use, but I'm not really sure I'm going to be a team. And I know Utah said they're going to be aggressive. I guess it just kind of depends on who we're signing. I know the Utah Jazz always get like James Harden and 2K, but I'm not going to go for that, obviously. So let's see what this rotation is going to look like first and foremost. So Colin Sexton, I'm going to go ahead and move to point guard. I'm going to move Josh Giddey to point guard as well. I'm going to move Keontae George to the 2 guard. So now we have Sexton and Josh Giddey. Sexton will be our bench point guard, and Giddey will start. It'll be Keontae George and then Jacoby Walter. We're probably going to move Clarkson this offseason. Although this team is trying to be better, I definitely think Clarkson would be kind of a weird fit here now that we've moved our bot on Josh Giddey and Jacoby Walter. So marketing at a small forward spot. And we have Taylor Hendricks, who could continue to develop, and then Collins and Kessler, which I'm fine with for now. So I think I'm gonna keep marketing at the 3. That way Hendricks, I wonder if I do this. If I move Hendricks to small forward, he goes up. So we might as well take that. So we're actually gonna move Hendricks to small forward. We'll move Markkanen to power forward, who might go down 1. No, he actually goes up. So yeah, that's a no-brainer there. So we move Markkanen to the power forward, and Hendricks will be the starting small forward. But now I want to move Jordan Clarkson out of here, so I think that's where we'll go next. Let's go ahead and try to trade Jordan Clarkson. I don't necessarily love anything in this trade finder, but if I had to choose one trade I don't mind, we can get Jake LaRavia as a forward that could come in and get some minutes. We get John Kachar as well. I could definitely see Memphis potentially being interested in a guy like Clarkson, as they're going to look to be better next year. So I don't hate this. We get LaRavia, John Kachar, and if I could find a way to squeeze like a first or a second out of them, I'd feel pretty good as well. I doubt, that pick is actually valuable. I doubt they're going to accept this. Let's say it's lottery protected. Yeah, we're going too far now. So I think we're going to go ahead and try to maybe, can we get like maybe we just get like a second? Like, would they just do a second and they want a first? Let's not go that far. So you know what? I'm actually cool with just getting Jake LaRavia and John Kachar. I would love to get a first out of this, but now LaRavia, if I could speak his damn name, kind of a tongue twister, or just I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but you get the point. So LaRavia, John Kachar, welcome to Utah. We get off Clarkson's contract. And LaRavia could play minutes right away for us, which feels pretty awesome. So we could probably move him to the 3. He'd probably go up. So yeah, he's going to go up 1 overall. So giving him some minutes feels good, and he might develop even more after that. And like I said, now we have cap space to maybe use in free agency if we truly wanted to. The one position we could fill out is the power forward spot. We have like Achua, we have Patrick Williams, we have Nicholas Batum, Covington, Haywood Highsmith, Najee Marshall. Give me some Najee Marshall action. I'll give him a 2-year deal. So we'll sign Najee Marshall, and it'll be as simple as that. So nothing too crazy. I'm going to renounce everyone else here. I don't think I'm bringing any of these guys back, and we'll roll over cap space into next year. So very cheap team still so far, but Josh Giddey will have to be paid next year, assuming he plays great under this roster. We'll have to give him a bag next year. So let's see what happens. So he is up to an 81. So it says he didn't move up at all, but he definitely did. Hendricks up to an 80, which is a great sign. Ravia is up as well, so that's a great sign as well. Colin Sexton is down. Keontae George is up, and then Kessler, Markkanen are up. So kind of like this roster we're going in with. This is going to be interesting to see how this team does. I think we could potentially be pretty good, because I'm assuming now that Josh Giddey is going to have a major role here. I could actually see him going off, and then Markkanen's going to be doing good. I can see us maybe being a play-in team in year 1, which would be kind of fun, but I don't know. We'll see. So let's get into next season, and let's look at this rotation all together. But I kind of like this roster. So power ranking is going to only land us 27th. So they're not too high on us, but here is what your rotation would look like. So Josh Giddey, Keontae George, Hendricks, Markkanen, Kessler, Collins, Sexton, Jake LaRavia, and Jacoby Walter. And we'll run a 10 rotation. That way we give Najee Marshall some minutes we just signed in free agency. So we're running like this, hoping we get some improvement out of Josh Giddey after we just traded for him, hoping he can take over a huge role here. Keontae George, of course, want him to do his thing, and then Markkanen, of course, continue to do his thing. So draft tendencies, I'm curious what they look like. So Markkanen's an 86, rightfully so. Josh Giddey's an 80, so I'm actually cool with it being like that. Sexton's 75, that's fine. And then Hendricks is a 54. Maybe I increase Hendricks' shot tendency just a tad bit. Other than that, though, let's go ahead, simulate this season. Let's see how this team does. I could see us being a play-in team. I could also see us maybe being bad as well. But I think this might go better than we expect. But we're off to a bad start. Maybe we get, okay, maybe we go on a little bit of a run here to go to 500. Nope, so far, this isn't going well. But you never know. Maybe we go on a run here in a little bit as we're 5-9. So, all right. Even if we're a lottery team this year, it's not that big of a deal. We get our pick back. I'm pretty sure it's protected. I forgot who it belongs to. But like I said, we could potentially be a play-in team. But hey, if we tank and we get the #1 overall pick, get Cooper Flag out of this equation, team is only going to get better. Luka Doncic wins MVP. Nikola Topic is the Rookie of the Year. Also wins 6th man in Chicago. Defensive Player is the Wemby. Amon Thompson most improved. And Shea is a clutch player. And Mark is your Coach of the Year. And Nathan Mack is your executive. So here was your All-NBA first team. All-NBA second team. It would be cool if we had like a Jazz representative, but obviously probably not going to happen. So we do get Jacoby Walter on. Did I see? Oh, yeah, I did. Or yeah, there he is. I was going to say he's Kobe Walter in 2K. But yeah, Jacoby Walter. You had a on rookie second team representative, which is great to see. All right, so we actually ended up being a play-in team, which is great because obviously season started off rough, but we got on a little bit of a run there, and we did extend Lauri Markkanen, no brainer, as I mentioned, since we did trade it for Josh Giddey. We extended Lauri Markkanen, and now he's signed through his prime technically, and probably obviously be a free agent, you know, a little bit during his prime as well. But Josh Giddey, 16 points per game, 15 from Sexton, 14 from George, and then 13 from Hendricks. So not too shabby. Walker Kessler at 8 and 10 and 2.5 blocks. John Collins at 11 and 7, not bad at all either. But we are a play-in team. We get the Sacramento Kings in round 1. So let's go ahead and round 1 of the play-in anyway. So let's see if we can. Ooh, they want to start Colin Sexton over Josh Giddey. I'm going to start Josh Giddey though. I want him to be a huge part of this team. So I'm going to start Josh Giddey. We traded for him for a reason. So let's see if we can beat the Kings here. We do lose. So maybe that was a mistake. But see if we can win this one. And we win. So we're in the playoffs and Josh Giddey gets to play his former team, which is kind of fun. So I doubt we beat this Thunder team. They actually acquired Klay Thompson. Good for them. And then they obviously also drafted. Who did they draft again? Yeah, Cody Williams. All right. So here we go. Game 1, 1-0. So we start off with a 1-0 lead, which is kind of crazy. 15 from Giddey, 22, 23, 24. If we beat the Thunder in round 1, that'd be kind of crazy. And we win both games in Oklahoma City. But I think 2K is just pulling my leg right now because I already know that the OKC are about to win 4 straight, or the Thunder are about to win 4 straight on us, right? Yeah, here it comes. Here comes the resurgence. So, yeah, here it comes. And 3-2. And there it goes. Oh, wow. We forced game 7. So, game 7. It's kind of crazy we're about to beat this team, actually. I'm going to leave Josh Giddey as a starter, though. I know they want to start Sexton, but, I mean, we've been doing good with Giddey starting. So, Giddey, can you get revenge on your former team here and your year #1 with Utah? That'd be kind of crazy. We are right there. We might do it, bro. Oh, my goodness. I could barely ever beat them. And I just beat them in round 1 with this squad. 14, 6, and 7 from Josh Giddey. Not that he did anything crazy, but Markkanen with 36 in that game. And we just beat the Oklahoma City Thunder in round 1. That's mind-blowing. I'm not going to lie. But now we get the Pelicans. If we can beat the Thunder, we should be able to beat anybody. But somebody current round, and we are up to, we were up at one point, but now we got to win. Okay, so they still want to start Sexton, it looks like. No matter what, I'm going to start Josh Giddey. I'm sorry, Sexton, but I like Josh Giddey as a starter here because kind of like him as the theme of today's video in a way. So I'm going to move you to non-starter. That way 2K stops suggesting you to start. So boom, something like that. And Josh Giddey will continue to start. All right, so we got to force a game 7. So let's see if we can force a game 7 in Utah. Or back to New Orleans, I should say. We are in Utah. And it looks pretty good. We might force a game 7. I mean, if we made it to the conference finals year 1, bro, that'd be kind of crazy. 27 from Sexton, 27-7 from Giddey. All right, so game 7, Markkanen, I need you to show up here. Let's see if we can win it. So game 7 in New Orleans. Do we get to the conference finals in year 1? I mean, we just beat the Thunder for crying out loud. So you like our chances, and we are going to the conference finals in year one. Jacoby Walter was our leading scorer, a rookie. What a miraculous run we're on. And we get Minnesota, who obviously we traded Donovan Mitchell to, or sorry, Gobert to. And now we get to play Gobert in the conference finals, which is kind of crazy. It's full circle. So I'm going to go 8-man rotation here. So, you know, we were very comfortable trading Cleveland and Minnesota's picks because, as you can see, both of them second seeds, and they are, you know, in the conference finals for crying out loud. So game one goes to Minnesota. Game two, 2-0. So we might get stumped here. But the fact that we made it this far is honestly surprising, and it's a really good thing to build off of. But the Cavs going to win the championship. Donovan Mitchell Finals MVP. LeBron James retires. He calls it a career, and now we can go straight to the lottery. So we have to feel pretty damn good about how year one went. So as far as draft picks here are concerned, it doesn't look like we have a lottery pick this offseason. Would have been cool to have one, but we don't. The Rockets are about to be able to get Cooper Flagg if they truly want to, and we have the 18th pick, which is our own. And I think other than that, we don't have another pick in this draft. Okay. And of course, we could have had two other ones, but we traded both of them because in the Josh Giddey trade scenario, which I didn't want to trade both of them, but, you know, 2K is like that. So I'm going to bring back Will Hardy for crying out loud. We just made it to the conference finals in year one, which we probably had no business in doing so. We got to keep Will Hardy around. No brainer there. And then we're going to get a guard guru. Then we can head straight to free agency draft night, figure out what we're doing after that. If I can find a freaking guard guru. There's one, finally, and it's a pretty good one. So Bernard Stevens, welcome in. All right, let's go to draft night. I don't know if there's anybody I want to trade on draft night. I don't think so. Probably not. So we have 18. We do have a bunch of other future picks. So, like, the ability to make a big trade is definitely there. But let's just jump in and see if we can get at pick 18. So, at number 18, we are going to select. We have Damian Sarr. We have Ian Jackson. Give me Ian Jackson, I think, out of this pick out of North Carolina. We got Ian Jackson. So, now we have a 75 overall. John Collins declines his player option, which I'm fine with. And then Walker Kessler accepts. Keontae George, Hendricks, Laravia, Sensabaugh. We're all accepting those. Qualifying offers, Josh Giddey, as we know, is a free agent. Had a pretty good, pretty good season with us. And he's only going to like $25 million. That's pretty cheap. Not going to lie. For this market nowadays, I think paying Josh Giddey 25 is fairly cheap. So I'm actually more than comfortable with that. So I'm not bringing back John Collins. I think we'll look for a new center in that regard. But we do have the money to sign a center. We could bring that, or we could re-sign John Collins. He actually did pretty good for us. Don't get me wrong. 11.7 rebounds and 33% from the... I mean, we did make it to the conference finals. Did we just bring back Collins and run it back? I don't know. Naz Reid is also a free agent. I don't hate that idea. Gives us some more offense when we need Kessler Kessler to not start. Kind of like the idea of Naz Reid. Not gonna lie, he'd start at or he'd be our backup center. Sexton, Josh Giddey, Keontae George, Jacoby Walter, Laravia, Hendricks, Markkanen, Marshall, and Kessler. You know what? Give me Naz Reid. Why not? Worst case scenario, we trade him. He becomes a trade chip for us. Give me Naz Reid. We're going to pay him a bag, and he will sign that. So we get Naz Reid to be our brand new backup 5. Appreciated John Collins, but Naz Reid will be our new center in Utah, which feels good. So we'll bring in Naz Reid. So Naz Reid got a bag from us. So now that's our upgrade. So we'll see how that goes. And I'm curious to see how player progression goes now. I know we could have made a big trade, which I'm still going to leave that out on the table for sure. But development is looking good. So Walker Kessler is up, Keontae George is up, Naz Reid is up, Sexton, Josh Giddey, Hendricks, Jacoby Walter, Ravia, all developing, which is a great sign. Love to see that. So Sensabaugh even went up overall 1. But we bring in Naz Reid instead of John Collins, so that's a huge upgrade, and the rest of the roster develops. We just beat the Thunder in year 1. Not that I think that's going to like continue to happen. I think we maybe just got a lucky sim there. Maybe at the trade deadline, we figure out if we need to make another move. But, I mean, based off what happened last year, man, team was pretty damn good. So let's go look at the proficiency. So this year we're still at 3.5. Unfortunately, I thought we'd go up, but no, not this time. So I think at the deadline we definitely look into a trade. I think if there's one position I would upgrade, I guess it would be the small forward spot or just a forward spot in general. As much as I would love to see Hendricks continue to develop and be our starter, which he might end up doing so, but I can't rely on that. But our bench is damn good. We're gonna run Laravia as well. Forgot to put him in the rotation, but. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead, simulate up the deadline, kind of reflect on where we're at, and then maybe we make the big move at the deadline to improve this roster, but maybe this team is good enough that we don't even need to do so. I will continue to simulate, see how it goes, and I'll see how the deadline potentially for a trade or not. At the end of this season, Anthony Edwards wins MVP, Harper Rookie of the Year on the Wizards, Nicola 6-man on the Bulls, Wemby Defensive Player, Alex Armo Most Improved, and Steph is your clutch player, and Mark is your coach, leader, and executive, goes to Nathan Mack. So, we're partnering on heavy Jazz representatives. I did stop at the deadline and kind of check out things, but we were the 4th in the Western Conference, and things looked pretty good. We don't even have a 20-point per game. Or I guess marketing got to 20, but At the deadline, it was like 19, 17, 17. Like, we have a bunch of double-digit scores. I also decided to extend Colin Sexton at the deadline. Worst case scenario, he'll be like a centerpiece of a trade eventually. But Hendricks jumped up quite a bit, averaging 17 and shot a lot better from 3 this year, which is great to see, which is why I was kind of comfortable just continuing on with him and kind of seeing if he maybe hits a development this year. Josh Giddey was 17, 6, and 6. Keontae George was 17. So the team is just developing. We get Dallas in round 1. So obviously, tough task in front of us. But I think we could beat them potentially. Facing Luka Doncic is never really fun. But we'll give it our best chance. So 8-man rotation. Let's go ahead and see if we could beat the Dallas Mavericks here. And we are going to go to a game 6. Can we beat them in 6? We do. So we beat the Mavericks in round 1. And now I draw the Thunder again. So was last year a fluke? Or can we actually beat this team again? I'm curious. Somebody occur around against Oklahoma City. We're up 2-1. We're up 3-1. And I guess we just own the Thunder, bro. That's kind of crazy. I've never had this much success against the Thunder like this. I will take it, though. And now we get Minnesota, who did beat us last year, but we're back in the conference finals once again. So continuity did end up working, other than obviously brought in Naz Reid as well. But here goes nothing. Game 1, 1-0, beat them by 1. 45 from Anthony Edwards, 35 from Josh Giddey. So Giddey out there matching what Edwards is doing. They do win game 2, though. So they do, hopefully they don't let them get home court back. They do take it back, though, as they do win one in Utah. Okay. So we got to win here to tie the series, or we're going to be in trouble. Minnesota might be the team we have to worry about today. Usually it's the Thunder, but it looks like Timberwolves are the problem today. So we are going to lose by 7 here. We're down 3-1. That's a little disappointing. But here we go. Game 5 to see if we can maybe extend this series further, as we are looking like we're going to win this one at least. So we are going to win this one. And now I go to a game 6 in Utah. So we'll be at home in front of our fans. 30 from Hendricks there. Game 6 in Utah. It'd be awesome if we could force a game 7 back to Minnesota. All the momentum would be in our corner. And we're at home here, but it looks like we're not going to be able to do so unless we come back now. We lost. Damn. So 2 years in the conference finals, but unfortunately comes up to a disappointment. But hey, we beat the Thunder twice in today's video so far. The Hornets go on to beat the Timberwolves. So Edwards, Melo from the same draft class matchup in the finals. And Melo gets the best of them. All right. Do we have a draft pick coming from somebody here? No, we do not, unfortunately. So Pelicans get 1 via Milwaukee, which is pretty good for them. Pelicans could be a problem for us later. And then we have 24, and then we don't have a pick from anybody, it looks like, in this class. I don't think I saw that anyway. So 2 years in the conference finals. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to player progression, and I'm going to see how much guys develop. If I don't see enough development out of Hendricks, if he doesn't jump up more than I want him to, if he just doesn't hit a stride, then I think we maybe trade for a small forward. Or a forward in general, because we can move marketing around wherever we want. But I'm going to wait to that moment to see if it happens. So, heading to draft night, I know we have I believe a 24th overall pick, but I'm just going to let the computer draft whoever, and they're probably going to be a trade chip if Dash Daniel is welcome. So, player options, everybody's accepting here, so that's great. Do we have a important free agent? Laravia and Kessler. So, yeah, I think both of them are guys I want back. So, let's go ahead and make sure we take care of that. So, Kessler. And we'll resign Laravia as well. So I believe we're still under the second apron, if I'm not mistaken. Hopefully we are anyway. So let's see. We should be. I assume so. So let's go look at our financial stock breakdown. So we are very close to it. I think the second apron is 189 million. So we're getting close to it. We definitely have to be careful. Keontae George is going to get paid. Hendricks is going to have to be paid. So we can't go too crazy here as far as the second apron is concerned. So what I'm going to do, as I mentioned, I think we have a full rotation still. So let's see what player progression looks like, and I'll make a decision. Yeah, so we have a full roster pretty much, other than Markin and not having a backup, but since Sabat's developing and Ian Jackson developing. So we have some back and forwards. But fingers crossed, Hendricks and some other guys develop nicely here, and I'd be comfortable just running it back again. So Hendricks is up to an 84. Not bad. 87 Kessler, 84 Giddey, 80 Jacoby Walter, 78 Ian Jackson. Not bad, man. Do I want to make a trade? I mean, we have a really nice rotation. I'm not going to lie. I could run with it, and we've gotten to the conference finals 2 years in a row. Hendricks hits another stride. He just had a really good year. Do I make the trade, man? I have the ability to do so. Like, I have so much assets. I have money. Like, I have the ability to do so. Once again, not to push this off further, but I think I'm going to take this to the deadline. I just like this roster a lot. I know I could make this big trade and maybe, but I like the continuity we have going right now, and I just want to see this through. Power ranking is still not high on us, though. We're up to a 4-star proficiency at least, but still, A little disappointing there. But Josh Giddey, Keon George, Hendricks, Markkanen, Kessler, Naj Reed, Sexton, Jacoby Walter, and then Jake LaRavia once he gets a minute. So we'll run it. We'll see how this season goes. And hopefully I have a reason to stop at the deadline. Actually, I guess it's probably better that I don't have a reason. But I think I should probably look at making a trade just to push us further over the top and make sure this team can win a championship to end this video here. So end of the season rewards here once again. And I think I'm done promising you guys that I'm going to maybe look at making a trade because the team was just so good, man. And I think the continuity is there. We got the first seed this time around. So we're the first seed in the Western Conference. Hendricks has gotten better. You had 20 from Markkanen, 18 from Hendricks, 18 from George, 17 from Giddey, 16 from Naj Reed, and 12 from Colin Sexton. So without further ado, hopefully this pays off because I could have made a trade. I was kind of looking at like who was available, and I just wasn't in love with whoever was available to maybe bring in. But we get Denver in round 1. Like if Nikola Jokic would have been available, I would have looked into that. But unfortunately, he was not. So somebody current round against Denver, and we are going to sweep them. So they have no competition. And now we get the team that's been eliminating us 2 years in a row. That is the Timberwolves. So hoping we can finally get some revenge against them. They have Clarkson now. But hopefully Naj Reed is obviously on our team now. So let's see if we can beat Minnesota. And we are down 2-0. The downfall of not making a trade is maybe coming back to me. But maybe we can even this series and have a huge game 5 ahead of us, as we are going to even this series, I think. Yes, okay. So we beat them. Hendricks drops 37. He's averaging 18 in the playoffs and 44% shooting from 3. So now we go back to Utah. This is a huge game 5. We got to win it. We got to win this one. So let's see. We can beat Anthony Edwards here. And the Timberwolves are the problem today. It's not the Thunder. We haven't had a problem with the Thunder. And we are going to lose game 5. We had it in the bag. We choke it away. So game 6. And we have the Grizzlies awaiting us. We got to come back, man. We got to win these 2 games. Come on. All right. So this is looking good so far. As long as we don't blow a lead. We had the lead in the last game. But I think we did this one. And we kind of let them creep back in there. But we beat them. All right. Game 7 in Utah. Or, yeah, game 7 in Utah. Let's beat them. Come on. Let's beat the Timberwolves here. We had them in game 6, but we gave it up. And now it is a back and forth game. Okay, we have an 8. Ooh, we're running away with it a little bit. We got to just continue. Press your foot on the gas. Don't let them back in this game. And we're moving on to the conference finals to play the Grizzlies. We don't have to deal with the Thunder or anything like that. So I think we did it. Markkanen was 40. We're back, and we finally beat the Timberwolves. It took a little bit, but we beat them. And now we get the Grizzlies. No disrespect to the Grizzlies, but I think we got them. Game 1, 1-0, 143 to 109. Good start. Game 2, 2-0. So far, so good. 3-0, and it looks like the continuity, wait a minute, is paying off. We're in the NBA Finals. Let's go. Okay, and now we draw the Detroit Pistons. Josh Giddey wins Conference Finals MVP. Almost averaging a triple-double. Pistons, they have Cade, Stephon, Asar, Stewart, Jalen Duren, Toppin, Sasser, Wiseman, and Malachi Branham. Feel like we're better, man. So here we go. Game 1 goes to them. Game 2, even it up. Okay. Game 3, 2-1. 3-1, please. Let's go. And we are champions. Let's freaking go, baby. That's how you end the video. Josh Giddey, Finals MVP. I don't know, man. Something about Josh getting Utah, I think just makes so much sense, bro. I just feel like that's a great fit for him. So let me know what y'all think of this video. Do you guys think Josh getting Utah makes sense? Let me know. Let me know. I think we put together a pretty good team. We didn't even do too much. I mean, the main additions we brought in were like Naj Reed, Jake LaRavia, who developed and was a part of this video, which I never really use him in 2K, so that's kind of fun. But yeah, we basically just let Kessler, George, Hendricks develop and brought in a couple guys and brought this team a championship. Fun video. I'm going to end it there, though. Thank you guys for watching. This is Crushables. I'm saying peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.